There is a silent force governing the rise of men and the fall of empires. That force does not rest in the hands of others. It lies squarely in the dominion of the mind. Every triumph you've ever witnessed, every invention, every monument built from dust to glory, began in thought. The mind is the master power that molds destiny. It is the unseen hand that carves the life you live. Whether you shape your world in glory or collapse beneath the weight of mediocrity is determined first and foremost by how you think. If you are seeking success, real, unshakable, lasting success, understand that it begins not with money, not with opportunity, not even with luck. It begins with your thoughts. What you dwell on expands. What you permit grows, and what you fear you feed. This is the first law of mental mastery. Until you bring your thoughts into full submission, until you hold the reins of your inner dialogue, until you decide that no intruding idea shall occupy your mental throne without your approval, you are not yet free. You are not yet powerful. You are merely reacting to the winds of circumstance, a leaf tossed by the current, not the captain of your soul. There is no chain heavier than a mind enslaved by fear, no prison darker than a mind confused by doubt. The most important battle you will ever fight takes place not in the boardroom, not in the streets, not in the eyes of others. It takes place behind your forehead, and those who win that battle hold power far greater than those who merely inherit it. The man who can master his thoughts can master his fate. He can walk into chaos with calmness, look into the face of failure without flinching, and press forward where others fold. You were not born to be ruled by your emotions or paralyzed by your doubts. You were not meant to grovel in front of temporary setbacks. You were built to dominate from within. Your mind is the gateway. Control it, and you rise. Lose it, and you fall. Every man must choose daily who will be in control, the higher self of discipline, clarity, and determination, or the lower self of laziness, fear, and chaos. The world does not care about your excuses. It does not sympathize with mental weakness. It rewards those who govern their minds and penalizes those who allow their minds to be governed. Thoughts are not idle things, they are living forces. A single idea, planted with belief and watered with persistence, will bloom into results that others call miracles. But to the man who has mastered his mind, they are not miracles, they are inevitabilities. Results are the fruit of mental cause. Your life is nothing more than the harvest of your most dominant thoughts. And if that harvest is poor, it is not the world that must be changed, it is your mind. You must wake up each morning with the discipline of a warrior and the clarity of a visionary. Your thoughts must be selected like weapons before battle. You must choose which beliefs you will reinforce, which ideas you will feed, and which you will starve. For every mental decision has consequences. The man who entertains the idea that success is impossible, who repeats to himself the stories of limitation, who surrounds his thinking with fear and doubt, is already defeated before he begins. But the man who says, "I will," "I must," "I can," and "I shall," has already taken the first steps toward dominion over circumstance. Success is not a trick of fate. It is not a gift handed to the few. It is a result of mental obedience to truth, to purpose, and to power. But no man may arrive at success until he first accepts the responsibility of mastering his thoughts. You must think with intention. You must speak with precision. You must believe with conviction. You must eliminate all thoughts that do not serve your purpose. You must make your mind a sanctuary for success and a fortress against failure. The first step in this process is to discover and define a definite purpose. Without it, the mind drifts, and a drifting mind is the playground of failure. A ship without a destination will be seized by every wave, misled by every wind, and sunk by the storms of doubt. But when a man decides with absolute clarity what he wants, when he etches it into his mind as a non-negotiable reality, he awakens a force inside him greater than any opposition outside him. Purpose is the master key to mental control. It gives direction to your thoughts, focus to your energy, and fuel to your persistence. When your mind is connected to a clear, definite aim, every thought has a place, every action has meaning, and every setback becomes a stepping stone. Without purpose, even the greatest mind will wander, waste, and weaken. With purpose, even the smallest mind can become mighty. There is no power in a vague wish. There is no strength in a loose desire. Success begins only when you have defined exactly what it is you will achieve, and you have decided, once and for all, that you will accept nothing less. Your mind must be saturated with this purpose. It must be the first thought you wake with, and the last thought you sleep with. It must be written, spoken, visualized, and burned into your subconscious with repetition. Only then will your mind begin to summon the forces necessary to bring it into being. You must not only define your purpose, you must commit to it with total faith. No half-hearted pursuit will bring lasting reward. The world yields only to those who demand success from themselves and will not retreat. Your definite purpose must be so strong that no difficulty discourages you, so compelling that no distraction lures you, so clear that no excuse clouds your path. You must say to yourself, "This is my aim, this is my mission, this is my reason for rising, fighting, and enduring." A man without purpose is a man without power. He may work hard, but his energy is scattered. He may move fast, but he moves in circles. He may chase success, but he will never capture it. But the man with a purpose gathers his forces, aligns his mind, sharpens his will, and commands results. He walks in clarity while others stumble in confusion. He acts with certainty while others hesitate in fear. He becomes a living example of focused power, and success becomes the natural extension of his mental commitment. Let no man deceive himself. You cannot control your life until you control your thoughts, and you cannot control your thoughts until you possess a definite purpose. This is the first discipline of achievement. This is the first requirement of greatness. Decide now what you will accomplish, write it, speak it, burn it into your consciousness, let it become your obsession. Let every thought either serve that purpose or be discarded. Let every hour move you closer to its fulfillment. Let your mind become a servant to your goal, and your goal become a ruler over your destiny. Let nothing stand between you and that definite aim which your heart has chosen and your mind now commands. Let no weakness survive in your thinking. Let no fear find room in your imagination. Let no idle wish distract you from the one clear objective that your entire mind is now sworn to serve. Let every moment from this point forward be governed by this mental law: I control my thoughts. I define my purpose. I create my destiny. There is a hidden lever within every human being that can be pulled to release untapped power. It is not visible to the eye, nor is it easily understood by the common mind. But those who discover it, those who learn to use it, rise to heights that others only dare to dream. That lever is autosuggestion. It is the mechanism by which you influence your subconscious mind, by choice, by repetition, and by intensity of emotion. Every man speaks to himself. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is found in what they say and how often they say it. Autosuggestion is not some abstract theory, it is a law as precise as gravity. Whatever you repeat to yourself, especially when charged with belief and emotion, will eventually settle in your subconscious mind. And once it settles there, it begins to shape your actions, your habits, and your outcomes without your conscious effort. This is the engine of transformation. It is how you rewire your mind for greatness or mediocrity. The choice is always yours. Your subconscious mind does not reason, argue, or judge. It accepts what you feed it. If you tell yourself that you are weak, it will make you weaker. If you tell yourself that you are powerful, it will go to work making you stronger. If you affirm that you are destined to succeed, it will begin clearing the path toward that success. This is not superstition, it is mental law. The words you speak to yourself become instructions to your mind, and your mind obeys them with exactness and devotion, whether you are conscious of it or not. The reason so many fail to achieve is not because they lack ability, but because they have repeated to themselves for years that they cannot, should not, or will not succeed. They have poisoned their own soil with negative suggestion. They have become prisoners of their own thoughts. The mind, once infected by doubt and fear, will build a life to match the disease, but the man who understands autosuggestion takes back control. He becomes his own mental architect. He designs his future with purpose, builds it with persistence, and protects it with unwavering belief. You must speak to yourself daily, not weekly, not casually, but with authority. You must tell yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I am destined for success. And these words must not be mere whispers. They must be spoken with the same force you would use to command an army. For you are indeed commanding something more powerful than any army. You are commanding your own mind. And the man who can do that is already halfway to the throne of achievement. It is not enough to say it once. The mind does not respond to occasional declarations. It responds to consistency. The same way water cuts through rock, not with power but with persistence, your words must be carved into your mind through daily, deliberate repetition. Morning, noon, and night, you must declare who you are and what you are becoming. You must see yourself in possession of the very success you desire. You must hear your own voice proclaiming victory until the subconscious mind has no choice but to believe it and act accordingly. But be warned, autosuggestion works both ways. If you speak failure, if you rehearse fear, if you dwell in limitation, you are setting your subconscious against yourself. You are creating a life of struggle and defeat, and you have no one to blame but the voice you use when no one is listening. Guard that voice, train that voice, use that voice as a tool for creation, not destruction, for within your words lies the blueprint of your destiny. Once your subconscious has been reconditioned through proper suggestion, it begins to move your entire being toward the object of your desire. You'll feel the pull of new ideas. You'll recognize new opportunities. You'll attract people and events that match your dominant mental picture. Your entire environment begins to align with the reality you have been feeding into your inner world. The outer world is always a reflection of the inner. Change your inner dialogue and you change your life, not by magic, but by mental law. The man who knows this law and uses it deliberately will bend his circumstances to his will. But there is another law that must accompany this one, the law of environment, for even the strongest mind, once surrounded by toxicity, begins to weaken. The mind is a garden, and environment is the climate in which it either flourishes or dies. If you are to control your mind, you must protect it. That means guarding your influences. It means cutting off anything or anyone that feeds you confusion, fear, or mediocrity. This is not cruelty, it is self-preservation. The man who exposes his mind to poison should not be surprised when his life becomes toxic. You cannot plant seeds of greatness while allowing weeds of negativity to grow beside them. You cannot speak success into your life in the morning, then surround yourself with failure at night. The mind does not compartmentalize contradiction, it becomes it. You must rid yourself of influences that do not align with your purpose, your friends, your conversations, your entertainment, your habits. Each one is either building your mind or breaking it. You must become ruthless in protecting your mental space, not someday, not when it's convenient, now. Because every moment your mind is exposed to destructive influence, it begins to absorb it. Look closely at your surroundings. Are the voices around you encouraging faith or feeding fear? Are the people you speak with reinforcing your vision or reminding you of your limits? Is the information you consume lifting your thoughts or lowering your standards? The mind is shaped by repetition and immersion, and what you immerse yourself in will determine what thoughts you think, what beliefs you hold, and what actions you take. You cannot afford to be casual with your mental environment. It must be curated like a sacred temple. Only that which supports your mission must enter. There are many who will call this extreme. Let them. There are many who will accuse you of arrogance when you refuse to entertain small-minded talk. Let them. There are many who will distance themselves from you when you stop indulging in mediocrity. Let them. You are not here to appease the weak. You are here to become strong, and strength demands solitude from weakness. The man who desires to control his mind must detach himself from the systems, voices, and patterns that once controlled it. You must replace the negative with the positive. You must flood your mental space with thoughts, voices, and messages that affirm your purpose. Read that which strengthens your mind. Listen to those who elevate your thinking. Study the lives of those who have mastered themselves. You must surround your senses with the very atmosphere of victory. You must become consumed with greatness, not in arrogance, but in intention, not to impress, but to rise, not to dominate others, but to dominate yourself. The mind is a magnet. It attracts that which it most often dwells upon, and the environment determines the quality of that dwelling. If you feed your mind images of poverty, failure, and fear, you attract more of the same. If you feed it visions of wealth, power, and success, the world begins to align with those images. The man who understands this principle becomes extremely selective about what he allows into his world. He does not speak with fools. He does not argue with doubters. He does not consume information designed to weaken his resolve. He has one goal: to cultivate a mind so clear, so powerful, so focused, that success is the only outcome it can produce. To control your mind is to control your fate. But no control is possible without mastery of suggestion and protection of influence. You must affirm your vision and reject all that contradicts it. You must surround yourself with a climate that nourishes your goal and eliminates all distraction from it. You must build a fortress around your thoughts and refuse entry to all invaders. For once your mind is truly yours, the world becomes a tool in your hands, and you no longer live at the mercy of conditions. You rise above them, guided not by the noise outside, but by the voice within. There comes a moment in every man's life when he must stand guard at the gate of his own mind and declare that no weakness shall pass. The world will tempt you with distractions. It will whisper compromise. It will offer shortcuts that appeal to your comfort but cost you your greatness. If you are not mentally prepared to fight this silent war every single day, you will fall victim to it without even realizing it. The mastery of the mind is not a one-time event. It is a daily discipline, and those who understand this truth prepare themselves before the day begins. They rise with purpose. They rise with strategy. They rise with mental armor, ready to command the day instead of being commanded by it. Mental discipline is the edge. It is the trait that separates the doers from the dreamers, the producers from the procrastinators, the lions from the lambs. Every day that you live, your mind must be conditioned to serve your purpose. If you let your mind wander, it will take you places you never meant to go. If you let it relax, it will pull you toward comfort, and comfort kills ambition. The average man allows his feelings to guide him. The exceptional man trains his feelings to obey him. The difference is discipline. It is not motivation that builds empires. It is mental toughness. You cannot wait to feel like it. You cannot wait for inspiration. You must act in spite of your mood. You must move when your body protests, when your doubts are loud, and when the world says, rest. That is the cost of transformation. Discipline begins in the mind long before it shows up in action. It is forged in silence, in the moments when no one is watching, in the hours when quitting looks easy. And the man who conquers those hours conquers his future. You must decide now that your goals matter more than your moods, that your mission matters more than your emotions, and that your destiny is too important to be interrupted by weakness. Mental discipline means saying no when the world says yes. It means choosing progress over pleasure, growth over gratification, vision over validation, Every day you are given opportunities to weaken or to strengthen your mind. When you hit the snooze button, you teach your mind that excuses are acceptable. When you skip the hard tasks, you teach your mind that mediocrity is tolerable. But when you rise before the sun, when you do the work you promised yourself you'd do, when you push through discomfort and complete what you start, you teach your mind that you are not here to play small. You are here to dominate. You must train your mind to obey, not negotiate. Weak minds argue with greatness. Strong minds execute without hesitation. If you want to rise above the ordinary, you must condition your thoughts the same way a warrior conditions his body. Daily, without fail, the man who wins is not always the most talented, the most intelligent, or the most gifted, but he is always the most disciplined. He shows up when others don't. He follows through when others quit. He controls his inner world so that the outer world bends to his will. His word becomes law, first to himself, and eventually to those around him. Start every morning with command. Set your intentions before the world sets them for you. Write your goals, speak your affirmations, visualize your outcomes. These are not rituals of the weak. These are weapons of the strong. They prepare your mind to stay aligned with your purpose when chaos begins to surround you. Discipline is not restrictive. It is liberating. It frees you from the tyranny of emotion, from the inconsistency of desire, from the laziness of average thinking. It puts the steering wheel in your hands and says, "Now drive." But even discipline, as mighty as it is not enough without persistence, because the path to success is not straight. It is not smooth. It is not fair. It is filled with resistance, setbacks, delays, and tests. And those who lack persistence turn back when the first storm appears. They believe hardship is a sign to stop. But the wise know that hardship is a signal to press on, for every trial is merely asking one question: do you truly want it? And persistence is the only answer that counts. Persistence is the fire that refuses to go out. It is the engine that keeps turning when the fuel runs low. It is the force that says, "One more step," when the body cries for rest. Every great achievement in human history was built not just by talent, but by the refusal to quit. Persistence is not glamorous. It does not shine in the spotlight, but it is the backbone of every victory. Without it, all dreams die in infancy. With it, even the impossible begins to bow. The man who persists becomes a force of nature. He is no longer moved by defeat. He no longer questions if he is capable. He no longer looks around for approval. He has made a decision, and that decision is final. Come rain or shine, loss or gain, pain or ease, he moves forward. He adjusts, he adapts, but he does not abandon the mission. He understands that most people fail not because they lack resources, but because they lack resolve. They stop digging when the gold is just one layer deeper. They walk away when the door was just one knock from opening. But the persistent man keeps digging, he keeps knocking, he keeps showing up day after day, long after others have disappeared. You must tell yourself, "I will not stop. I will not turn back. I will not fold under pressure. I will move forward until." Until what? Until the goal is reached, until the vision is reality, until your success becomes inevitable. That word "until" is the lifeblood of persistence. It means you've burned the ships. It means there is no retreat. It means you are willing to do what it takes, for as long as it takes, to become the man you were born to be. And that mindset, that spirit, is the rarest and most powerful possession in the world. Persistence is more than action. It is identity. You must become the person who does not give up. You must become the person who gets up when knocked down. You must become the person who others look at and say, "He cannot be stopped." That kind of strength is not built in one day. It is built every day by choosing not to surrender, even when you lose, even when you hurt, even when you feel like nothing is working. Especially then, you must persist. Because the reward does not go to the fastest, it goes to the one who does not stop running. You will be tested, you will be challenged, you will be stretched beyond what you think you can endure. That is not punishment, that is preparation. Life is not trying to break you. It is trying to see if you're worthy of what you say you want. It is sharpening you, refining you, forging you into something greater. But the fire only makes you stronger if you stay in it. Persistence is what keeps you in the fight long enough to be transformed by it. Do not fear the struggle. Embrace it. Let it teach you who you are. Let it reveal your weaknesses so you can fortify them. Let it expose your doubts so you can eliminate them. Every time you persist, you harden your will. Every time you press forward, you silence the voice of quitting. Every time you refuse to back down, you tell the world, I am not here to try. I am here to win. And once you become that man, the man who cannot be broken, the man who cannot be stopped, the man who refuses to lose, the world no longer has power over you. You rise above circumstance. You transcend excuses. You control your thoughts, your choices, your outcomes, because you have mastered the only thing that truly matters. Your own mind control of the mind is the foundation of all lasting success. When you master your thoughts, guide your inner voice, choose your influences, build unwavering discipline, and persist through every obstacle, you rise beyond limits and shape your destiny with intention. Success is not granted. It is created by those who take full command of their mental world. The battle is not outside you, it is within. Win that battle daily, and nothing can stand in your way. Let your mind become your servant, not your master, and you will unlock the power to become everything you were born to be.